Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Bird the Nerd, just doing another comic book market report live show. I think Fedora's coming in a little bit later. We got Pickles supposedly coming in. Hold on, but we'll see when Pickles decides to show up because he never listens to me, which is why we hate each other. Anyway, hope everyone's doing good. I wanted to, well, on the kind of what do you call it? Kind of the no worries, man. Take your time. Um, Kind of on the suggestion of Fedora Khan, who's at Grand Central Station. He's trying to find a seat. Yeah, man, what's going on, man? Long time no see, brother. We're doing kind of a, I guess you call it emergency market report today. I didn't really have an idea of Pickles, your devices, it will not connect their mic before you can add them. What does that mean? Hey, Jason, try and go in and out. It says device is not connected. Yeah, you suck. Anyway, um, there's been a lot of stuff going on the past couple weeks. I think the Wednesday Warrior is back. Um, and it shows the market is doing something really odd. I don't know whether or not it's like great stories or just more fans going into comic book stores. Is it good? Is it bad? I'm not really sure. Oh snap, he's in it. He's in it. This is your show, bro. This is your show.
Yo, we,
This is
we,
this.
I'm at, this is Grand Central Kong reporting from Grand Central Station.
Wow.
This is it right here, Grand Central. We had to request. Can you hear me? I just got these new headphones.
Yeah, man. It's I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Okay, okay, cool. We had to do an emergency podcast. So you all know we outside, but I usually be in my neighborhood. So this was such an emergency that I had to stop everything I was doing. We're here in Grand Central Station. Everything is closed.
Oh
Just coming
dang.
out of work. Yeah, yeah. You see, you can
What
hear
time is everything? What time is everything closed at Grand Central?
like around 8 o'clock. There's some other stuff. There's the
You can't get a
yeah.
football spot
So
at 8:30.
you can. I mean, Grand Central is closed. New York City never sleeps. But
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
um, a lot of interesting things have been happening in the community. A lot of crazy stuff. I don't have much time. I feel like I'm coming from the future. Like, yo, I don't have much time, but I don't have much time to really highlight this. So we're gonna. I have some friends waiting for me at this bar in the area, and I'm like, I gotta do an emergency podcast, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't have much time. I gotta go. So so
Good to
here it
hear,
is,
man.
Ferd. Here it is, Ferd. Like
All right,
like
go for it.
let's
Oh, you want me to start? Oh, okay, my bad.
yeah, start. Yeah. Wait, we
Oh,
we
my bad.
we, we
We
started.
got time. We got time. We got time. Hold on. Shit, my bad.
Nah, you're
I
good.
gotta find the slides. I gotta find the slides. So I was like, it's been kind of a long week for me. But I miss this guy. I miss hanging out with you guys and stuff. So, apologies for the not so great, I guess, quote unquote, market report or whatever report we're gonna go with. I'll just preface with like this because I posted this on my Instagram that we do like this emergency podcast, right? There's an asshole right there. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this jackass. Look at him. The Seahawk jersey and shit. Canine.
Yo,
Canine jersey.
Seattle in the building, baby.
Canine, this is even Worry's jersey, baby.
Oh, I thought it was a nine,
I don't know
dude.
what a Demon Warriors is. What is Demon Warriors?
So I wanted Pickles to
Oh,
be
it's
here
Seattle.
because there's some past information I have here. We're gonna take the pandemic. The pandemic is over. Like we're not taking a pandemic crisis, but more so, I think some stuff that I think Fedora, myself, and Jason can all kind of agree that it's not really moving the market. Now, I think the difference is in today's market is good. I think there's a lot of good stories out there. there's fun comic books, and there's just like great covers out there. I think a couple of these comics have fallen into that kind of category, but a couple of these, I asked Jason to come through for a little bit because he had some of these books back in the day, and I wanted to kind of compare what today's kind of spec or happiness, whatever you want to call it, compared to back then and kind of the fortitude now. Real quick, I just want to thank everyone for coming through on a Friday night. I want to thank Fedora for suggesting this emergency, kind of emergency podcast. I want to thank the Seattle Seahawks for presenting another Super Bowl to the great city of Seattle, and most importantly, I want to thank my wife for letting me do this podcast because we were supposed to eat dinner together, but I said sorry, I gotta see the boys, and now she's
emergency.
And I'm sleeping on the couch today, but that's all right because I don't play video games until midnight. So anyway, without further ado, here we go.
On top of that, I had to cut my Game of Thrones down.
Oh man,
no, not that. Not the.
I'm late to the game, so I stopped watching it after like season 2, and finally was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back and watch the rest of it.
I like
the books, but
yeah, you read those hella quick, dude, like crazy. But I like it.
Like that dude from work kept giving them to me. They were like, he's like, every time I finish one, he'd give me another one, and I'm like, dude.
Yo, pause, Pickels, pause, bro, pause, pause, bro. You wildin', bro, pause.
I'm sorry. Okay. The first comic book is White Sky. This comic book came out this week. I forgot about it. I saw it on the Key Collector app, and I guess the synopsis, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like an end of days, end of the world type thing, and there are ghosts, not zombies, but ghosts. Am I right, Fedora? Is that what it is?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know what the hell that book was until you told me at like 2 a.m, and I was like, yeah, sure. I'll see if we have it, and then yeah. So I was able, like, just off of my first impression alone, it looked like The Last of Us, and I'm like, I guess. Like I don't like just finding out off rip, like not knowing, being like half asleep, feeling the vibration of the phone, looking at it, and then going like, oh, looking it up, half asleep at 2:30 a.m. And I was like, yo, this is some Last of Us type shit. So I mean, I don't know why. I don't really know. Like I have to read the book to see like what the spiel is. Because I know like a lot of with these kinds of books, you have to like read it to really see like where you're at on it. And there's a lot of other podcasts that I be seeing where people just make up their own assumptions, and it's like, have you read the book? No. And I can name them, but I don't want to name them. You know, like I don't want to be. We know. But I don't like. So I'm gonna reserve my judgment because it could be a book that, you know, that's investable if the story is good. But I don't really. Just off the look test, it's not really doing it for me.
See, I would say that I was actually interested to at least like see it, and then when I got to the store, it was gone. They sold out quick, right? So it had me like intrigued about the story, but our homie Ralph, who's a friend of the channel and from back in the day, he said this was selling for $35. Hey, Fedora, I'm gonna mute you, man. You're kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. The book was going for like $45 on Sunday. So, you know, and I'll preface this with this. So the differences between I think the market today and the hype, or whatever you want to call it, compared to like back when we started this channel, was there's no option news with this. There's no specific writer that's coming out. I think it's just intrigue, and I think maybe a little bit of FOMO, obviously, because FOMO is always going to be part of it, right? But from what I've heard, this is a pretty okay comic. It's not doing, the reader. I haven't read it, but I am curious. I hear there's a cliffhanger at the end. So yeah, I think Fedora is right. I mean, it's very Last of Us. It's very like, I don't know. There's only so many like end of days type stories you can put out there. But what's cool to me from when I was reading like synopsis is it's not zombies. It's like a ghost, which I think is kind of different. This next slide real quick though, this is my like kind of, is this the same kind of like hype? Impact Winter. So
the 1 in 25 of that other one of the White Skies. So a buddy of mine sold it for like 200. He sold the A, the B, and the 1 in 25 for like 2 something.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick, man. So with the hype of last week's like kind of book, do you think that's spilling over to this week, and do you think it will continue to spill over?
Honestly, I don't know, because usually like we'll hear about it on the Discord, so like nobody spoke about it on the Discord until you pointed it out.
Yeah.
So like just like we heard about the Dorc book, right? Like we had like a few people talking, and I don't want to say like, oh, if we don't talk about it, we don't. It's like usually a guy hears from a guy, and then they report back to the Discord. And I would say that like we're the most in the know people, and it's kind of weird because we were speaking about Dorc, but then this came out of nowhere, and we were speaking about Dorc for like days, So I don't,
not like weeks, but a couple days, right? So
so it was a little weird. So I don't know what to think of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's just I don't think there's anything bad about it. We didn't do this show I think to say like, oh, this is like bad for comics, but Pickles, did you ever read this book, Impact Winter?
No.
It's a podcast. So this kind of the story reminded me of like the previous book, right? So this book, I think Pickles, you might like this. It's a podcast, and they made it into a comic book, and it was going for like $30 when they announced Option News. Now, I think Fedora and I would agree that Option News isn't really doing it. I think as far as like the increase in value of comics like you used to during whatever days, right? But
when you say it was a podcast, do you mean it was like people talking about this subject, or do you mean like it was like an old school radio type show where they had actors portraying it on a podcast where it was like episode by episode kind of deal? Is that what you mean? It's actually still going. It's a podcast that they tell the story of like the comic book, and then they were like, oh shoot, we should make a comic book too. So it's like I think the comic book's a supplement to the actual podcast. I listened to the podcast, couldn't really get into it, but I can understand like the cult following with this. But I mean, you think about, to me, if I was like investing, like I think this is a better investment because you have a podcast backing it, you have a cult following that does not collect comic books, and this is $9.99.
And it's Skybound, so
it's Skybound, so that Skybound's a good property to have stuff to go to the big screen if you're still speculating. I'm like, I don't when it comes to comics anymore. It's nice to kind of have them in the background, but like for me personally, like because like I'm kind of 50% speculating, 50% like wanting to just have stuff I want to have, which is really I don't consume as much comic books as I used to. You know what I mean? Like you do, you haven't bought a comic book in like forever, right? Right, Pickles?
Yeah, I don't like. I think the last thing I bought wasn't for reading; it was for just like for me to own type deal.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Fedora can attest to this too, man. I mean, like I've had like even stuff that's like like I picked this. I just got this book on my pull list. It's The Darkness, and I mean, I used to be a fan of this back in the day, and I freaking can't wait for this to come out every week. I think like these books are great, and Fedora, you actually said too, like man, like this is like a pretty cool series.
It is. It's a great series. That was the only one that I was reading monthly, honestly.
Yeah. So Pickles, I know you've been out of it, but I still want you on here. What's up, Cody? The absolute run in DC has like taken over everything right now, and it's like the Ultimate Universe when we were like in college, like in the 2000s. It's just really done really well.
I haven't read any of it, but I like have seen like on Instagram, YouTube shows, yada yada, people like talking about
Absolute Universe. I just never. It wasn't anything that.
TikTok is crazy about the Absolute Universe. I recently got TikTok, and I think it's a good thing to have just to see what like the younger kids are like reading and getting into. So Absolute is huge. Everybody's talking about the Absolute new Green Arrow series, and I was like surprised at how big the comic community is on TikTok, because they're putting me onto shit that like apparently everybody hates Tom King, and like I just found that out today, and I was like, wow, people think Tom King sucked, but I've only ever read 2 Tom King books. But it's just like crazy to see like what the younger generation think of certain artists, certain writers, because like obviously like what they think is tied in to the books that you own. So if the younger generation is saying like, yo, fuck Tom King, right? You should probably get rid of your Tom King books. But anyways, continue.
No, you're good. So you know, like if you're wanting this book because you want to read it, right? Like I guess wait till it comes out in first or second print, right? But if you're thinking that this is going to go up, potential for, you know, option news, it's rare. There's going to be a second print. There's going to be a third print. It could turn into this. And if it was me and I was still with the notion that if a comic book that has a podcast, has a potential option going for it, it's Skybound, I'd rather spend $10 on that book than $45 on a book that, you know, whatever. Again, this is like, for me, go ahead.
No, I think you're right, because Impact Winter has like multiple avenues of like it's multifaceted media. You have the audio video thing going for it. Well, you have the audio, and I know that like when DC did their comic audiobook version, it did really well. And then they released the comic to come after it that also did very well. And sometimes, you know, people, you know, I live in the city, but like in other places where you have to drive everywhere, I could imagine that people are, oh, let me tune into Impact Winter while I drive. You know what I'm saying? So
that's me right there, man. I was like, while I was like working, I would listen to Impact, or work on the house, I would listen to Impact Winter, and it's like it's solid, but it for one reason it's fallen, you know, from grace or whatever. So anyway, next up, another great like story. I've read it's really well written. You know, it's Image again. A lot of these comic books are like short print, right? A lot of stores don't have, you know, these books, so you kind of fall into that kind of thing. And I think with this book in particular, this took a little bit of time to kind of get going, kind of like Absolute Batman, at least where I'm from, where it took a little bit to kind of get going or whatever. Pickles, I think you would like these stories. They're anthology books, so every story is different, and it's freaking spooky as hell. It's just a different freaking type of thing.
Sounds kind of like Creepshow. I don't know if you ever saw Creepshow or anything like that.
Yeah.
With the George Stephen King short stories.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's almost like if you took Creepshow and like Twilight Zone and just added some like goriness to it, and some of the stories, they're kind of like that. But yeah, you totally dig it, because it's like, it's not like you have to follow it. You can just jump in and just read one of the books. I have issue 2. I'm selling it right now on eBay. It's not really my shtick, but I understand the popularity of the book. There have been several like other prints or whatever, which always follows into that type of stuff, right? But yeah, anyway, Fedora, have you seen this book at all in the shop, and how's that?
Of course I have. I remember I remember there's not one book I don't see, because I help put the books out. I do the truck, I do all that stuff.
Sure.
So I see everything that comes in. The interesting thing about like this book is I didn't really give a shit about it when it first came out, and then it kind of went crazy. And Dennis Camp recently had a signing at Midtown Comics, and I got to speak to him for a little bit. He's a really chill guy, really nice guy. we're talking about Absolute Universe, we're talking about, future, things, rumors and things like that. Nice guy. But also, he had a really big line, and his line, he had more people than Larry Hama, young readers. And it was, and the good thing about this is that it was readers. Understand that it was readers, like young kids that aren't really interested, because I know like what people are there based on, like, to do what. You see your usual, the Mandalorians are in there, just to flip their books and to do all that. But I've seen so many people that I've never seen before, and that's a really healthy sign. And they were getting him to sign Absolute Martian Manhunter, and so now with this book in particular, I the price right now. Oh no, traffic. The price right now for me, like, I would say if you really like it, this is a good price to buy it, because there's not much movement on it that I see in the secondary market. But what I do like is that Dennis Camp is still a young writer. Well, his career is still early, and he could very well become the next Scott Snyder. He could become the next Donny Cates, but I think he's a better writer than Donny Cates. But he could become the next big guy. So while a lot of his stuff in DC might not be worth it, a sort of Infinite Crisis might not be worth it, like, you could get a signed copy of his books right now for $60 or whatever. And I think the payoff would be great in the future, because he's going to keep cooking, and he's going to keep getting kids interested in reading. So that's my thoughts on it. This is like a good, like, cheap, safe investment, where it's like, okay, well, if it doesn't pay off, at least I have a low print book that's a good read that may become a show and things like that.
Yeah, but here's what Fedora, and like I could say, me and Pickels, like, our thing, like why we write comic books is because the stories were good. So I mean, that to me is a more healthy spec than, this, great if it gets optioned and it becomes something later down the road. But that's not why the book's doing well. The book is doing well because comic book stores or owners are like, have you read Infinite Sword Crisis issue 7? It was a really good read. If you like that, try and get the second print or whatever first, or I have this, da 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 da. And then people are eating that up. And then what you said earlier, like, this is Sword Crisis events. This was his first, one of his first, this is, put the writer on the map. And that is a speculative thing, right, to buy with comic books. First art, first story, whatever, right? So now this was kind of an interesting thing that I found as far as my data is concerned. So I'm trying to find comparables to, like, okay, what was the, what's something comparable to a Sword of Crisis event? An Ice Cream Man. It totally reminded me of Ice Cream Man, right? So this has a little bit more, I guess, foundation under it, right? I mean, it's been out for a long time. It's an anthology series, just like Crisis, and it's it's reprinted quite a bit. However, this book's still doing really well, and it's graded, pretty. $400 for a 9.8, and this is pretty good. But I saw a raw for like $150, and I want to say there was trade paperbacks for this book. Again, it's an anthology series, low print. It did have like the low print kind of pandemic thing going for it, but this is an example of, like, this book has held its value. Maybe it hasn't skyrocketed to like $1,000, like Absolute, Batman, that type of thing. But this is a great example of something that's going to stay consistent. I think kind of my big thing to think about with all these books that we're going to talk about today is, like, okay, it's all about entry, right? So if you paid $100 for this 2 years ago and it's still worth $100, I think that's okay. You know what I mean? If you paid $100, if you paid $40 for a book, down to $9, that's when you fucked up, or whatever. I would say you fucked up, but that's when you were buying something for the wrong reasons, right? Pickles, did you ever pick up this book at all?
I happenstance came into a couple copies of not one, but like there was a couple throughout the run that I had.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. It's not like I had anything to read from the beginning. But I did read the 2 that I had, and eventually I think I sold them for whatever, probably cover whatever somebody offered me.
For sure.
But yeah, it wasn't bad stories. Really.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that I was like I read them and was like I'm never touching one of those again because I read both of them. So
yeah, and I don't know if this is correct me if I'm wrong, Fedora, but like this was like $100 book, and then the option news came out. Am I right? Like this didn't really do well because it was optioned. So I think in general, and you guys will see the like in the I think in the notes here, like if you are buying a book because it's a good story, not because it has potential to be, in front of our faces in 2 years, then I think that's a good indicator that you're probably investing or you're buying something at a good price, right?
Yeah, and you also have to consider that I don't really know the guy's name, but I know that the artist and the writer that does Ice Cream Man, he did the DC Kryptonite Spectrum thing, the Superman Kryptonite Spectrum thing, which sold really well. A lot of people really enjoyed it.
Cool.
And then they announced a new Dead Man series, and and a lot of people were talking about that on TikTok. A lot of people saying they were excited on that. And I think that that's the perfect character for him to write. So he's getting a lot of momentum. He's getting big characters. He's getting smaller characters, and it seems like people are really enjoying his stuff. And when that happens, they are gonna refer back to Ice Cream Man #1, which also got options, but nothing ever happened with it. I think like the indie space right now is kind of the ground zero for investing right now, which I think is kind of weird because it wasn't like that a few years ago.
Hold that thought real quick. So if because this is like my fear, right? Because like so Ice Cream Man #1 first print goes for like $100, right? But the second print goes for like the 29 and a 96. So do you think that? Well, I guess I kind of. Well, I'll just ask you. Do you think that the fact that second, third, fourth print of an independent book that hurts the value of that said book? So Tony.
Yeah, probably because I think what's happening now is like I think a lot of younger kids are getting into comic books from what I'm seeing, and a lot of these kids that are getting introduced don't really give a fuck about first print, second print, third print. They just want the book. And I think like for us like older people, we kind of understand a lot more. So I don't know. It's kind of weird because we're getting an influx of new people that don't care about prints, right? Because Absolute Batman is getting reprinted to hell, and you see the price dipping a little bit on that. So I'm just seeing more now. Like people don't really care about prints; they just want to read the book.
Yeah.
So it's like with indie, it's always hard. So I don't really know because it could be one of those things where the second print and the third print become more than the first print because it's ordered less. So I guess it really all depends on what the market says. So I can't really predict that.
Gotcha. I like this by Tony. What's up, Tony? He is the mag dude right here. Absolute weight is gay. You are absolute weight. Okay, I'm sorry. This title needs a Hollywood champion like Jordan Peele get made. 100% agree. That was great. Derek, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And
I don't know.
Real quick. Oh, okay.
I'm personally just not a Jordan Peele fan. Like all the movies that he's done, I've watched them and have just been like, eh. Like I didn't like the first the Get Out. I didn't like Us. I don't even think I watched his newest one, the question mark or whatever it was called. I don't remember what it was.
You didn't like what's that movie? Fucking vampire movie. What's it called? With Jordan, whatever.
But
anyway,
Michael B. Jordan, that was Coogler. He did that.
Oh, was that Ryan Coogler? My bad. That's who I was thinking. Okay, never mind. My
And even that one, I was like, I went into that. It was so hyped up. I remember watching it, being like, it was okay, but I was like, I thought it was going to be like this fantastic, like amazing spectacle of cinema, and I was kind of like, I was like, it didn't even really feel like a freaking horror movie to me, and people were saying it was a horror movie. I was like, outside of vampires, I was like, I wouldn't have considered it to be a horror movie either. So I was just kind of like, I enjoyed it, I own it, but I just wasn't really.
I like it.
Sorry, okay. I was trying to look up the artist on this book too, because I wanted to see a lot of the artwork for these guys looks like a show I used to watch, Metalocalypse.
Yeah, I agree. Sinners. It was Sinners. Yeah, I mean, I thought Sinners was my favorite movie of last year, but I know you, Jason, and I know your genre of horror is your delight, and I can understand your viewpoint as well. Real quick, I wanted to just say thank you to the 13 to 15 live we had. This was on a win, so to have 10 people double digits is like a win for me. Have freaking 5 people is great, but I think it's great to get the fan back together. I think it's great that we got the chat back involved, and I do appreciate everyone coming through. I'll try and do a giveaway at the end. I'll just pick the best comment. I don't really feel like doing the whole like whatever, but
you don't want to build a wheel.
I fucking hate that shit. Anyway, but yeah, again, I appreciate everyone's support. Join the Discord. That's kind of where this all kind of culminated, to be honest. And thanks for hanging out with us on Friday. We'll try and get these done pretty soon, but I know we got a lot to say. And yeah, I mean, in general, like real quick, people were like, oh man, Ferd's gonna put out this like, caution beware. I'm like, no, I think if anything, I get why these books are doing well. I get why the secondary market is doing well. So
I think Key Collector needs to chill out with that shit. Like, not every book is a caution beware. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like chill out, dude. Like, chill out, calm down. Yeah. Calm down.
We'll see this in a second. We'll go back to Key Collector. This is just, I'm not calling anybody out or whatever, but like, it's just something I noticed or whatever. I'll just talk about it. Fedora and Vinny and I think somebody else was on this. And
I'm calling out Key Collector. Fedora Kong. Like, you guys are excluded. But Nick, if you're watching this, not everything is a fucking caution beware. All right, you Momo. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, calm down. Calm fucking down. Like this isn't Pokemon. Nobody's like, who the hell wants to manipulate a fucking cocaine hippopotamus massacre book, bro? Like,
here's the funny thing about this book, right? So I picked up a copy of it. I had it somewhere around, and I literally just thought it was like a cool, like, what it reminded me of, like kind of Pulp Fiction kind of stuff. And how many of us comic collectors just see something cool, we don't give a shit what the story's like, and we just pick it up, and it's not really like a big deal. This one just, I guess everybody else and their mother just thought we're thinking the same thing, or whatever. But I'm gonna go to Pickels first, real quick. Do you just pick up shit that just like looks cool cover wise, or are you like, you pick it up, read it a little bit, and then grab it if it's a title you don't know? Like, right?
Oh, I would have 100% bought this just based off of walking by it and seeing the title and the artwork on it. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. Done, sold. Like, because usually, I mean, I've had good luck with that. Like, so, like, if I had had more times than not, I had gotten a crappy book out of the deal, I probably wouldn't continue to do it as much. But since I've like rolled the dice and lucked out more times than not, like, every time I'm like, I'll just grab it. I don't need to know about it. Let's just read it.
Yeah, I'll I have an example. It's that Wonder Man comic last year that came out, and it was like it looked like Null but like female. I have like 4 copies of it. It hasn't bumped up in price, but if I ever get that artist to come through, I'm totally getting it signed. But that's an example of just like, dude, the cover's tight. Like, and I mean, we talk about, is the first cover better or the first appearance better all day? Tony is in the chat. I mean, we would argue for a magazine that's always first cover. That's probably for right now, but mostly like first cover is always going to do better than like first mention inside the guts, because whatever. But man, I mean, I haven't even read it. I don't know if I'll flip it. I probably will. I mean, let's be honest, right? It's just not worth $40 to me, but nonetheless, it's selling for $40.
And I think it's just, you'll see. I mean, all these comic books, man, like they're all just based off of either pretty good read, whether you like it or not, or they're all independent books, and there's nothing really behind it other than like it's either a cool cover, it's a pretty cool story, and it's not an investment. Yeah, flip away, right? So take advantage of the market if you want to, but yeah.
It seems like, at least for like just having grown up through the like the 90s and stuff, and do you remember like Liquid Television, like Eon Flux, all those shows? I was like, I feel like there's a flux of books that are kind of coming back with just crazy out there ideas like they used to have in those shows, and it's like,
you mean Pickels, you mean comic books being comic books again, and not
I know,
right? Fucking movies, right?
Like it's like, oh, I mean, there's like actual stuff that's not serious out there. Like,
yeah, and like, dude, I mean, I think it serves this book may not be available in like, I'm sorry, Cody, I'm gonna call you out, in Iowa, because the Iowa comic book store doesn't have Man Cave, right? So maybe that's another thing too. Like, of course, supply and demand, right? And obviously Cody's like in our Discord is one of our most beloved members of all time. So maybe he sees this and is like, shit, I can't get one in Iowa. I'm gonna have to. But I'm curious enough to, and I haven't spec'd a long time. But shit, this is worth like $40 to me. That might be another avenue of it. But
I think for me, it was like, because Wednesday mornings, I don't typically work Wednesday mornings because I deliver mail. So, but sometimes I work Wednesday mornings, depending on how the schedule is. The book just pops out on the show. It's yellow, it's neon.
There's 4 different panels on it. Yeah.
Like there's a hot chick. There's the little hippo meme. I don't know if you saw like the little baby hippo that everybody was sharing on the.
Yeah.
So he's on the back of the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
see, I haven't even looked at it all, right? So, but yeah, I haven't had time. Yeah.
So there's a lot of funny stuff going on, and then when I flipped through the book really quick, the art looks phenomenal, and I was like, and the variants look amazing. So I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna buy both of it because this is just funny, and the art looks cool. And sometimes, I just want to support the smaller publishers, and sometimes I want to read a comic book. I don't want to read a fucking 28 or 42 page pitch for a fucking movie from Charlemagne the God or from fucking whatever image book that just came out from some schmuck who fucking can't get his movie script off the ground and wants to turn it into a comic. So, like, I want to read shit that's not taken seriously all the time, because at the end of the day, it's a hobby and it's comics. And that's why this book resonated with me, and I can understand if people feel the same.
Yeah, no, and here's the other thing too. So I picked up this book. I saw this, and they mentioned it. Stein mentioned this last week. It's called the Digger. This is like a $6.99 comic book, but I feel like this is $6.99 worth of writing, paper quality, like all of it. So you are going to pay a little bit more for those independent books, but the quality of the writing, I think, is just really good. So, and now this is kind of my error side of caution. Like, this is like kind of the bullshit we were going through, right? This is kind of what that book reminded me of. ENIAC. You guys remember that book, right? So it was on nice paper. It was nice cardstock. This was low print. Bad Idea was doing this thing. They were going to do option news, all this stuff. Man, I thought, honestly, I read this book and I was like, this is a pretty cool book, but it's not worth $100 to me. So I flipped it for $100, right? This is like a $3.99 like book now. So the whole concept of this book was that it was good. It was high quality. It was a first Bad Idea comic book. So it's a collector's item, quote unquote. They weren't going to reprint it, I believe. I'm not sure, even though it came out in the second print. And there were only specific stores that had copies of this. And so all this, like, I mean, it's to say, it was artificial demand for this book. And, I mean, it was so easy to be like, dude, this goes up past $50. I'm selling it, right? It just, and, I mean, look at it now. It's a paperweight, it's a nice, really nice piece of paperweight. But Nonetheless, that book just kind of reminded me a little bit of it, but the previous book, the cocaine book, it doesn't have any like. There's no option news behind it. It's just a normal like cool looking cover from independent issuer who's not trying to make it into Hollywood, or if they do, cool, but it's not. We're not banking on that. Pickles, did
And
you ever?
Mad Cave has good quality stuff. They had the
Yeah,
Nottingham book that was really good.
that
So
was cool.
they kind of got like a name for like some low key hits, some gems.
Sure.
But anyways, back to you,
Yeah.
Pickles.
Yeah, Pickles. Did you ever get this book?
I did not. This is my first time seeing it.
Did you ever like buy any of those Bad Idea comic books at all? Ever? Or do you ever like see one like in your hand? I know it sounds weird, but I just can't remember if we ever talked about that.
Not
Like,
that I know of. If I did, I wouldn't have like known while I had it.
yeah, it was like so. Like the whole concept was like Bad Idea. They only distributed to certain comic book stores like in the nation, and so I was like, oh shoot, if my comic store doesn't have it, I gotta go another one. And so it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And they were like good stories by good writers. I mean, these are good writers that are putting these out. And I think the assumption was again it was going to go to be optioned and to be on film. And I mean, the stories were good, but they weren't great, or they weren't like something new. I guess is my point. But anyway, I'm just curious. But on to the next one.
I did enjoy a lot of the Bad Idea books, by the way. Like when Bad Idea first came out, I was a big supporter because um, I know everybody was hated on them, but I was like, look, man, like this guy is putting his own money up to start a company, paying all
Yeah,
these people, high quality books, and a lot of the stories were really good. They were pretty good premium books.
yeah,
And I thought that he was just trying to find funky ways to make comic books fun.
yeah,
And I think during the pandemic, a lot of the shit that was coming out, oh, option this, option
yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then it was just so to see like some silly shit on how you had to get for Monster Jam. So just to see um, a company that could like go out and be like, yo, let's just make this shit fun. Let's make it
Yeah,
an Easter egg hunt. Let's do silly shit. Let's release the first and the second print at the same time. That's fucking funny.
yeah, yeah,
And I think um we were missing that, but I think also like people are kind of coming back down from the pandemic, and that's why we're seeing shit like Cocaine Hippopotamus like do good
yeah,
because people just want fun. But anyways,
yeah,
and that's why this leads up into Dorc.
yeah. So one more thing about Bad Idea, and I'm like what my biggest thing with Bad Idea was like he had a really cool story for like 3 issues and he ended. So my they I wouldn't say they burned me on a couple because I just really enjoyed the stories that they had, and then like it was over. So I hate that when Marvel does that. I hate it when DC does that because I just want a good story and I want to keep reading it. GI Joe. Anyway, that's for you, Cody. Next up, this is kind of what started this whole thing, right? The Dorc comic book. I actually was speculating on Sonic instead of Dorc, but I saw it and I was like, man, that's a really cool cover. The art looks kind of cool. It reminds me of who Pickles. Who's the dude from He-Man, Masters of the Universe? The little dude from the cartoon.
Oh, Orko?
Orko. For some reason, it reminded me, it gave me like Orko vibes, and so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick this up. And I was in Phoenix, or I was in Scottsdale when I picked up this book. Snoopy, if you're in the chat, I miss. Sorry, next time I'll have to meet up with you. But anyway, this was actually the book to get, and it is spiked. It has gone up to $100. The book was okay. I wouldn't say I maybe want to get issue number 2. The other cover is actually pretty cool, and I appreciate the art. But I'll start with Pickles again on this one because I think Fedora have a lot to say about this. Pickles, one, did you probably saw this on Instagram or whatever, and then 2, is that kind of your shtick, like a comic book about a heroic dwarf orc little guy that tries to save the day? Is that your shtick?
I mean, it could be if it's well written and it's something that I'm not going into it expecting, obviously, just from the art and stuff like that. I'm going into it more of like expecting a fun kind of almost like Dragon's Lair-esque vibe to it.
Yeah.
Where it's just going to have some kind of like a little goofy comedy and jokes a little bit here and there with some action and whatnot. But I did see it kind of all over, which made me look it up. And it was kind of funny that because Fedora was talking about the buyer beware. Like as soon as he said that, this was the first book I thought of, because when I looked that book up just to see what it was or what it was about, why everybody was talking about it, that's the first thing I saw. It's like, buyer beware, blah, blah, blah. This thing came out of nowhere. Nobody knows why it skyrocketed and yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, I thought maybe it was good, but I hadn't talked to anybody who had read it. So I was like, is this a story thing? I was like, is this an artist thing? Is it just somebody hyped it up kind of deal? So I'm kind of in the dark on the book, but I know of its appeal.
Yeah, for sure. Now Fedora, I know you got a lot to say about this book. I'll try and throw you a softball. Why has this book gone up to $100? Not 40. I mean, we've seen 45, we've seen 40, but why 100?
You know what? That's a pretty good question. But I'm gonna default. I seen a lot back to a previous talk point. I seen a lot of people talking about it on TikTok. People were like talking about it, talking it up. Younger people, and a lot of them weren't able to get the book, but they were wondering why it was so high. And I left a few comments, and I got a lot of likes on them from like some of the younger collectors, and I got a few followers, so that was cool. So Brett Bean is the creator of this. He was the artist to I Heart Fairyland. I like I Heart Fairyland. I was reading I Heart Fairyland when it first came out. I thought it was a unique, funny book, and it did really good for Scotty Young when it first came out. Brett Bean, unbeknownst to me, apparently stopped by to Midtown Comics Grand Central one day. Shout out to Brett Bean, and he dropped off some ash cans signed by Brett Bean.
Oh shit!
Brett to the people. So like, hey, like this is my book. Comic-Con's coming up, so if you could give these out, that'd be great. And then the manager was like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. No one cared, but the few people that did were like, oh, this actually might be pretty good. I was able to get it, obviously, and I read it and I actually really enjoyed it. And I have to go back to this thing where it's like, I think it's better written than I Heart Fairyland.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot more clever, where it's like, I Heart Fairyland to me is like Family Guy, and then this one is written like more mature, and it's trying to tell a story where I felt like I Heart Fairyland was just trying to be like Fantasy Slop, which is no disrespect to I Heart Fairyland. I like it, but the Talking Shield was pretty funny. I thought that was unique.
That's what reminded me of the Orko, was the Talking Shield.
Yeah, so I thought that there was like a lot of unique things that I have never seen before, like a half dwarf. I thought that was cool, and it didn't hit you over the head with so much lore and world building that you were like, I don't want to read this. So I think it was a strong start. But again, I said this throughout. This has been a theme. Comic books are being comic books.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't want to read an option, like something that feels like an option.
Yeah.
So that's my. I'm reiterating what I said the last time.
Yeah, no, that's why you're here, man. I'll say this about it. The one good thing that I got out of it that made me like kind of okay, I get why it's $100. And this happened to this book back in the day. It gave me a little bit of Battle Chasers vibes, like very little. Pickles, you remember Battle Chasers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Joe Madeira, like whatever. And I couldn't wait for the next book. Like I think that and the Donny Cates Venom run were the two books I just cannot wait. You know, like I get that same feeling, right? But it didn't do it enough for me on this book. But I get why maybe someone in their 20s or like when I was 16, 17 reading Battle Chasers does have that feeling with this. I do like the shield part. That's pretty cool. But I really, really hope it doesn't turn into this though. Canto. It did also give me a little bit of Canto vibes. I think Canto's more of a feel-good story, and he's like kind of alone, right? Or like you kind of feel bad for Canto, I guess, in the story, right? But what was going on with this book? It was a low print run from IDW, cute little character, kind of sounds familiar, right? With Dorc. Option news with Will Smith. This book was like $700. Now we have the pandemic, so we'll throw that out there. But it's 2026, man. I've known these guys. I've known Fedora for almost 6 years, like if not longer, which is crazy, right? And this still hasn't come to the big screen. So if you bought Canto with the assumption that was going to happen, you're buying it for the wrong reason. There was 17 different editions of the first print, and today, to be honest, $280 for a book that's 6 years old that still hasn't made to the big screen. That's actually not bad. But I wonder if that's the market just being like, shoot, I could sell this for $600 if I just wait 3 or 4 more years, or because I haven't heard shit about Canto in a while, or if it's like actual people like Canto and they want that first print. Remember, there was like, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was like a production error with this, and so every single Canto came kind of bent, right? So the 90s were kind of few and far between, but still $280 for this book, man. I'd rather get a raw ASM 300 in a 6.0 than this. But Fedora, I'm gonna start with you, man. What's your thoughts on this book, man, as far as like $280 for 9.8?
I think anything optioned during the pandemic is not worth talking about.
And there you have it. There you have it, folks.
I don't know. I feel like anything, any news or TV show or anything that was speculated on outside of Pokemon during the pandemic is like was just, it never happened, bro. Like it never amounted to anything. It probably never will amount to anything. Maybe the magazine market, I don't know, but like let's just say like for comics, anything that happened in the pandemic is like we gotta move on. Like if you're holding on to this, or if you paid $280 on this fucking thing in a 9.8, thinking, oh man, Will Smith he's gonna do something, like he's done. You're done. Stick your head in an oven. Like that book.
There's a Fedora in I miss. Stick your head in an oven.
Like, bro, like that book died when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on fucking stage. That's if you want to see speculation die in real time, watch that video, because that's where that book went. As soon as the slap happened, down the drain. It might as well be $0. They might as well be giving this book away for free.
This is like BP3 and Tosin 9.8 of independent books. Yeah, I'll give the Tosin Award. The Tosin Award.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. I love it.
Jump off a building if you're still holding on, thinking this is gonna be the next $700 book. Yeah. Like if
you can get $280 out of this book and you paid $600 for it, take the loss and write it off on your taxes, man.
It ain't coming back.
Yeah, $280 is a good price for this book if you can sell it for $280.
If you bought it at $700, if you bought anything in the pandemic, I mean I made that mistake too. Yeah. But if you bought this book for $700 during the pandemic, I bought the Iron Fist 14. I overpaid, but guess what? Chris Claremont signed my shit, so I'm good. I made my money back. But if you bought Canto 9.8 thinking Jada Pickett Smith was gonna fucking make you money, guess fucking what? You're gonna be sitting with her at the red table, getting shitted on, crying, because this book ain't worth shit no more. And if you a Mark, still paying $280, like leave the comic book community. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you. Like, I don't even know, unless you really love the story. Unless you say, oh, man, I couldn't afford it at $700. I like the story, whatever.
Yeah. But you don't gotta tell us that you did. Just do it. Just sell it.
That's the best just sell it. Buy the trade.
Yeah, buy
I
the
don't
trade.
even
Buy the trade.
I don't even think they're still printing the trade anymore. That's how much nobody gives a fuck about this shit. Will Smith killed your speculation. Will Smith killed the spec of his book. Him and his wife. They're gonna have both you and Will Smith crying with nothing.
So mad
Anyways,
about it. He's so
yeah,
mad.
you got me riled up just thinking about the pandemic.
I'm sorry. God damn. Okay. All right. Pickles, real quick. Did you ever jump on this Canto like bandwagon? Because I'll say, like, Pickles is pretty good about not going with FOMO. He may not be like up on all this stuff, whatever, but Pickles pretty good about not like he was pretty good. But anyway, just curious, man. What was your thoughts on this book, or did you even like?
I never really got into it. I mean, it's one that I would walk past. Like if I saw it on the shelf, like the artwork just doesn't pop for me. It's not like anything that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing about it that jumps out to me, so it's not something that I probably would have grabbed.
Yeah. And I think like it's hard, right? Especially with social media, obviously. I mean, like I'm guilty of it. I'm probably guilty of making you guys do it, right? Like you see someone having 50 copies of one book and you rush to, whatever LCS and you try and get that book and stuff. I will say this before going to the next comic book. The past couple weeks have been pretty fun to go back to comic book stores and try and find to try and find that book, whether I'm going to flip it or not. It's been fun. So I haven't really, and it wasn't like my anticipation of getting that book was to flip it and sell it, but actually to read it. So I think if anything, this past week, hasn't even been like 2 weeks, feels like forever. It really hasn't done anything in my eyes like that's negative to the community. If anything, it's just been really fun. Kind of going back and becoming a quote unquote semi Wednesday warrior. I went to 3 different comic book stores, like, the past like couple weeks, and it's been fun. I picked up a couple other things that I didn't anticipate getting, and yeah, it's been a fun couple weeks. But and then obviously like we're back doing this in kind of a different style, I think, but it's still, I think, quote unquote err on the side of caution, right? I think if you're going to speculate on these past books, these new books that came out, do it because it's good reads and try and get that floor. Do not get the top. This was one that I think Fedora, you talked about. I wanted to highlight this because I thought this would be a good thing. These next couple books would be good for both Pickles and Fedora to brush on. But this hasn't gone up a ton. I think the last sale I saw was like $30. It's kind of leveled down to like 15 to 20. This may show up on a couple, CBSI or Stein's top 10. I don't know if it will, but I think this cover it's super clean. It literally looks like a video game. And I think if I saw this for $10, I'd buy it and wouldn't really care about like the condition of it, or sorry, if it's going to be worth something like there down the road. I'm not a Mega Man fan though, so I wouldn't really go this way. But Fedora, real quick, did you guys sell out of this at Midtown, or
we did? We sold out on it like the day, like the same day. A lot of people were asking for it. This series in particular, the Mega Man timelines, they've been selling phenomenally well. The art is beautiful. The story was serviceable. And the variants have been off the chains. Like the ratios have been great. And a lot of these video game books have just a lot of them do well. Like the Gears of War #1, the Halo #1, those are solid. So Mega Man has like this crazy cult following, whether if you're Gen X and you grew up with Mega Man, or you're a millennial and you grew up with X like myself. X is the one I grew up with. This is the game that I played growing up. So I bought it just based off of that because the covers have been phenomenal, and I think the numbers kind of reflect that, even if you paid $30 for this, you're not caring that you paid $30. You know that this is low print, and the art is phenomenal, and you can enjoy the book because, again, this is all about fun at the end of the day. And it's reflecting that, outside of what's going on with DC and all the speculation there with Absolute Batman, people want a fun story with DC, and people are having fun with DC. The second prints and the third print of Absolute, the bajillion prints are selling out, and you can see where the market is saying like, hey, people just want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun. Let the girls have fun.
I love it. What's the print run on this, or like,
Oh, where I work, every print run looks ridiculous to me. So for me to find out what we have, I have to ask other people. So for example, we had like 30 copies of this book, 30, 40 copies at my location, on the shelf, and they all sold out.
On the shelf, like,
yeah,
it's on a ratio.
That's a 1 in 5 ratio. This is a 1 in 5.
So you have 30, so 150 at least your location. I can't do the math. Oh, was this a? Oh, he says it's a 1 in 5. Wait.
It's a 1 in 5.
Hey man, is it super windy in New York right now?
It is. Wait.
Oh, okay. It's windy here too, but.
Let's put the hood on. Boom. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you though. I'm gonna because it's windy. I'm gonna ask Pickels. So let's see here. Pickels.
Yeah.
Mega Man video game, real quick.
I played it. Yeah.
Would you pair this with a Super Nintendo Mega Man video game as far as a collection?
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, and so I'm kind of flip-flop opposite of Fedora. Like, I haven't yet played the Mega Man X, but I grew up on Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, the ones. I have them, because now that, or you can go into PlayStation Store, I think probably has them, same as Xbox or Microsoft Marketplace or whatever they call it. You can buy them all together. So I've got them. I just haven't gotten around to playing them yet.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. Well, I'm going to tie this real quick into the next slide here. So this is kind of what reminded me of it. Not really, price-wise, not really. It doesn't go crazy. But I'm going to start with Pickels on this one. So 8 Billion Genies. When this book came out, I was on another podcast with somebody else who's super fucking annoying. And and Pickels actually ended up buying, I think, a couple copies of this. Sold one raw, got it returned because the guy was complaining about a little crease in it. I told him send it into CGC. It wasn't you, Wade. He gets a 98 out of it. I think it was at the time it was selling for $600 or something, right? Did you end up selling?
I think that was around the high that it had hit, but it had hit that previous to me getting mine back, because I'd already sold it thinking it was gone.
Yeah.
And I got it back, and that kind of fucked me, because I still have my copy of it.
You still have your copy of it.
Yeah, the fact that I got it back and had to submit it kind of fucked me over, because it was, at that point, basically it had dropped off from where it was at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But had you sold it at the 9.8, you would have made about $100-$200 more than selling it raw. Am I correct?
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. So I sold 2 copies raw. I remember I got one, and I got one, and I flipped that immediately, and that one sold for $406.
Yeah, it was so crazy money, right? Yeah.
And then the second one, I can't remember what I sold it for, but then same thing was the guy was oh, it's got a thing in it. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. So this really popped off because, shout out to Bird City Comics. Bird City actually came out with a Dorc variant that's very SNES, which is pretty cool. And they did some really good stuff with this book and some other homages to video games. They didn't do as well as this one did, but this is kind of when this was also your option, low print run, clean cover. You probably should have sold, not you necessarily Pickels, because you sold the Raw and you got your money there. But if you were thinking this was going to go to like $1,000, $1,500 on the option news, you're not a good investor, because the option stuff just isn't working. I can't my theme, but tell my business. Okay. But if you're Super Mario like enthusiast and you like the cover, then I guess I get it for that reason. But this was, to me, like just an easy, like, get it 9.8, sell it for $600, $700, and just move on to the next one. I just didn't have faith in. I think at this point, when the option news started to come out for 8 billion genies, I was like, I just can't. Like, nothing's come out. Nothing to come out on. Like, Invincible was still like 2 years away, and the only thing that was out on like option news was like The Boys, and that was also like a year away from when this came out. So I just wasn't really a believer in the option news. Like, if someone talked about it, especially when a comic book just came out that week, I was over it. That was the end for me. But nonetheless, anyway, a Fedora, man. Did you get on this ride too?
I liked it. I enjoyed. I thought it was a really, really good story. A lot of tourists were really into the book. A lot of foreigners from China, everywhere around the world, people really dug the book.
Yeah.
I think if this book had come out now, it would have been a really solid investment, because now, like, if something says it's going to get optioned, there's a good chance that it's going to get optioned, because people aren't fucking around. They're trying to get shit made. So yeah, and I think it's with Fallout coming out, and with the shift in like the video games coming to like screen, like we got Twisted Metal, we got Fallout. I think they're trying to see like other alternatives with like Super Mario and things like that. So I don't know if this is ever gonna come out, because like I said before, people are now discovering, or the industry, that there's other stuff to adapt in the nerd space. That's because for a long time people didn't even want to fucking touch video game to TV shows, video game to live action. Like it was just shoot yourself in the head. Like that was like, why would I fail? But now Fallout is doing well. Twisted Metal did well. BioShock looks like it's becoming more and more of a reality. Then we got One Piece did really, really great. So this is showing people that, hey, animated live action can do well. Video game live action can do well. And it's like, why risk that, right, on 8 billion genies when I don't know if this is proven, when I can just find a game that's a proven franchise that hasn't had a show, that hasn't had a movie, and we could put our best guys on it and make something happen, versus this indie book that nobody knows about. But I still do think if this came out today, it wouldn't have been buried in all of the other option news that never made it anywhere.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, and like I said, man, like there's so many optioned stuff that we've talked about on these shows the past like 4 or 5 years, and it never came out. Never ever came out. Or when it did come out, like Wade's saying, it was horrible. So like, that's your error of the side of caution, key collector. Like if you're gonna say err on the side of caution, do it with books that have option news behind it, because that's obviously the market has shown that it just isn't it's not a for sure thing, which I think in the past, right? And I'm guilty of it too, man. When I heard something was optioned, yeah, that's a banger. You gotta hold on to that for 2 or 3 months. But when this came out, I was like, if there's options with this, I've seen this before. I've seen Stray Dogs, I've seen Canto.
Yeah, we've seen proven writers, proven James Tinian. Why the fuck none of his shit went to the screen? He's the most proven writer out there right now. Like, he's turning lemons into lemonade. You know what I mean? With every book, like that dude, it just feels like he can't miss. You know what I mean? And if he's having trouble getting things optioned, like 10 of his fucking
Fire
books.
agent. Fire agent.
Oh, I don't even know what the hell that is.
The agent, his agent, you know, like his representative or whatever, right? So I just thought of something real quick, and Pickles, you can talk about this.
How many more slides we got left?
We got like one more. You want me to go through?
Okay. You can go through it, but I can't stay for the giveaway.
Okay, that's all good. So oh wait, my bad. That's it. Well, one thing I wanted to say real quick is thanks everyone for coming out. We're about an hour and 10 minutes into this, but real quick, you talked about James Tinian, right?
Yes.
I just want to say this real quick, and Pickles can attest to this. The what's that Stephen King show that came on HBO? Sure.
Welcome to Derry.
Welcome to Derry. Okay, kill them kids. Weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another movie that came out where kids died or whatever, right? How is something is killing the children not, or Stranger Things? How is SIKTC not out? Like now, this is the perfect time for that genre of horror. You know?
Horror's back, baby.
But horror with kids dying, like I don't get why that show isn't out yet because everyone's loving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
listen, James Tinian is the gay Stephen King.
He really is. He really is. Yeah, you're 100% is, man.
Well, and they're already taking another Stephen King property and making it a show too, because the same guy is doing The Mist now.
Yeah, Derry was fire, man, and yeah, it's and I know that because my nephew was talking to me about it for like an hour and how great it was, and I was like, "You gotta watch Shawshank." He's like, "Oh, I already watched it." I was like, "You gotta watch what is it? Freaking what's the other Stephen King movie?
Shining.
The Shining. He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "We gotta watch it. It's a Stephen King." And he's like, "Who the hell's Stephen King?" I'm like, "Oh my god, do you like Welcome to Derry, dumbass?" And
just
fight and whatever.
Throw on Pet Cemetery just because. Be like, it doesn't have anything to do with Welcome to Derry, but you got to watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's the show for tonight. Our emergency podcast.
Yo, wait, hold on. Before I leave, I got a rant. Then I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. Yo, Big Nick Energy, we out here. Fuck you, Detroit Pistons. Fuck you. When playoff time comes, we're gonna fuck you, just like we did to Boston. Fuck all you people from fucking Detroit. Fuck you. And Mike Brown, you an ass coach. We got rid of you for fucking we got rid of Tibbs for you, bro. We got rid of Tibbs for you. And we getting fucked by the Pistons, bro. Do something, bro. It's like, yo, bro, like when this Mike Brown guy, like when the team is on, they on. But when he has to manage, bro, or when he has to like coach, bro, he sucks. You sucked in Sacramento. You sucked in the fucking Cavs. That's why LeBron got rid of your bitch ass and he ended up leaving anyways. Mike Brown, you weren't the first pick. You weren't the second pick, the third, the fourth, the fifth. You were the sixth, bro. Yo, Mike Brown, I hope, listen, I better not, I met Tibbs. I shook his hand at a private party. Fucking Tibbs is that fucking dude. He the king of New York. Mike Brown, I fucking hate you. I fucking hope you die. Like you suck, bro. You suck. We could have still had Tibbs. We could have been on that defense. Now we got Cat flailing around, getting fouls. Like, come on, bro. What are you doing, Mike Brown? This is on you, bro. It's not even on the organization anymore, bro. Anyways, and the Yankees, yo, fuck you, Brian Cashman. Fuck you, Brian Cashman. We ain't make no moves. We running it back with the same team again. While everybody got better, right? Fucking Toronto, beast. LA, beast. New York, the same. So it's like, yo, bro, like what's really going on, bro? The fucking Giants, trash. The Bills, don't even get me started on the Bills, bro. These guys, like, I don't even understand how the Bills is so fucking unlucky all the time, bro. Like, bro, like we had it won, and then this fucking joke fucking gives up 2 interceptions in overtime, bro. What's really good, bro? Anyways, I'm signing off. I'm letting y'all know, like, not everything is fucking buyer beware. If you want something to buyer beware, buyers beware buying fucking Knicks tickets, because when we get to the playoffs, you're gonna get fucked in the ass.
Have fun, man. Be safe. Oh man. Anyway, well, that was awesome. Thanks for joining, dude. And dude, I'm 14. Sorry, man. I said we'd go 45, but Fedora, man, you gotta say his shit, and it was good stuff. But 13, we're up to 18 live for today for a Friday night. So, yeah, I'll go in the I'm gonna randomly pick someone to give these Martian Manhunter books away. I thought they were great reads. It's a third print for the number 1, but the number 5 and 8s are first print. So, anyway,
what'd your dork sell for?
You guys want me to show it? I can show it. Hold on a second. You guys want me to show it?
Here. Is it still live right now?
Yeah. Oh. Is that your cat?
Yeah. Bitch.
What's wrong? What's wrong with her?
She thinks she still gets fucking fed again at night.
Oh.
She used to get wet food day and night because I had to give her half a thyroid pill in the morning, or half in the morning, half at night. But then the vet was like, yeah, let's not do the full pill. And so she's used to getting wet food. So she sits here and whines all night. And I'm like, you have a whole goddamn bowl full of food over there. Go eat it.
Sounds like a cat. It's going for $29.94. It's cover C though. It's not the cover A. And then I put this was doing pretty well for a while. I
saw you tired of your Empires of Man painting, apparently.
I can't cut those covers, man.
I saw that up for sale. I was like, oh, well, that was short lived. I was like, either he got bored with it or he had too much crap everywhere and he got yelled at.
Crap everywhere, man. My wife was getting mad at me. So Sort of Crisis, I had that. It was a few days on that, and I bought all these random toys too. Dude, Micro Machines. If you can get boxed Micro Machines, dude, yeah. If you can find I bought this Terminator set of Micro Machines boxed, and it wasn't in great condition. Dude, I sold them for $30. I got them for 50 cents. It's kind of crazy. But, anyway, Wade, I'm glad you're in the chat today, man. It's good seeing you, bro. It had the funniest comments as always. Yeah, dude. You need to go to you don't need to, but man, go to a comic book store, man, and just check out stuff. It's kind of you don't even need to ask me what's cool. It's literally the most fun I've had in a long time. Just going in with low expectations, picking up my pull list. I'm reading. I got this book. Oh wait, I already posted that, but I got this for $5, and I'm not trying to flip this or anything. I'm just collecting it. And he's reborn as Absolute Wade. That's pretty great. And dude, the Absolute series, dude. I mean, when did you ever read Martian Manhunter? This is fucking good. It's really good stuff.
I don't think I've ever read actual just a Martian Manhunter book. I think it's all just been within the constraints of the Justice League or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. But anyway, well, that's our show, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I don't know, Pickles, you want to do this again sometime? Have you got time?
Yeah, as long as I know in advance and whatnot.
Yeah. What'd you call out? Oh, the Absolute Martian Manhunter. Yeah, man, I believe you.
Damn, these bitches are fucking throwing that shit hard.
What are you watching?
Women's curling. the US and Switzerland are. I don't know if it's a replay or if it's live. It doesn't say. The Olympics are terrible at that.
Yeah,
they just replay stuff all day and they don't put replay. It's the Mariners, at least if they replay the game from the night before, it says replay in the corner.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Jason, you have to read the Energon universe, man. Cody's right. It's must read, especially this last issue. Fucking awesome. And it's probably gonna get optioned or some type of cartoon again. I don't even care. I don't even give a shit. It's still fun, and it ends way too quickly. And Skybound. So, yeah. Do you have any Invincible books by any chance?
I might. I'd have to go digging through my boxes though. I don't have anything.
I'll buy them off you.
Slabbed.
I'll buy them off you if you have any. Okay. All right, we're out. I promise.
Burn them in front of you. Oh, you want these? And then just throw them on the ground.
That's right. All right, peeps. Have a good night.
we'll see you next time, I guess. And happy hunting. Take care.